Right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear. If you could state your name and spell your last name for the record, please.
Elizabeth Adams, Adams.
All right, state you may proceed.
Thank you. Ms. Adams, how old are you currently?
I'm 49.
And do you currently live in San Antonio, Texas?
I do not.
Okay, where do you live?
I live just north of Houston.
Okay, and did you formerly live in San Antonio?
I did.
Okay. Were you born in San Antonio, Texas?
Actually, no, I was born in Houston and then we moved and then I moved back in '04.
Okay, did you attend high school in San Antonio, Texas?
I did.
What high school is that?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Thank you. And are you employed currently?
Yes, I'm self-employed. I'm a real estate agent.
Okay. Now I want to talk to you about April 23rd, 2017. Do you recall what you were doing that day?
I do.
And were you in San Antonio, Texas on that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Why were you in San Antonio, Texas?
I was visiting my husband. He is a director of maintenance for an aviation company, and he would sometimes spend a week on, a week off here babysitting airplanes. And it just so happened that that was the weekend that was my last weekend to be with him. And then I was going home and he was staying, and he was staying at the DoubleTree. So we were just saying goodbye to each other and I was going on my way.
Okay. And when you say he was staying at the DoubleTree, was that the DoubleTree located on McCullough and the access road of 410?
Yes, facing North Star Mall.
And is that located in Bexar County, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And at some point, did you end up in the parking lot of that DoubleTree hotel?
Yes, I was just getting ready to leave. We had loaded up my car and I was turning around to give him a hug and a kiss and, just bidding our farewells for the week. And I was just getting ready to get in my car when it all happened.
Okay. And so when you said you were getting ready to give your husband a hug, and you referred to when everything happened, what direction were you facing?
When I gave him a hug, my back was to the mall.
Okay.
And I was distracted by a noise that was behind me, and it was like screeching. It sounded, it was a car. And that's when I turned around and noticed that there was this car, a black little car, was like braking and braking and braking, was going, braking, stopping. And it just looked chaotic for a second. And so it caught my attention.
And so when you turn around, that means that you are facing towards 410, looking towards
At that
410.
point, I am facing the mall.
All right. And regarding this black four-door vehicle, you said you heard, you said it sounded chaotic. Is that how you described it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And so did you take a look at that motor vehicle?
I did.
And can you please explain to the jury what you observed?
Again, the car was stopping and going in very short succession, just quick, and so it was like bouncing. And then, at first I didn't think anything of it. We just giggled. The Spurs game, there was a Spurs game happening. Fiesta was just winding up. So I just thought it was, somebody having a good time. We didn't think anything of it until I noticed that the car was stopped, but it was bouncing. And so I looked closer and I told my husband, I said, I don't think they're kidding anymore. Looks like they're beating up the guy in the middle of the back seat. And so being nosy, I just stood there watching, and I just couldn't, we really just couldn't really understand what was happening until the door swung open and somebody was yelling, help me. And then the door would slam, and then the door would open again, and you would hear them screaming. And then I heard, don't shoot him here.
Objection, hearsay, confrontation.
All right, if you'll lay the foundation.
Well, Judge, I think it's, is it? Well, okay, and so when you heard that statement that you just said without repeating it, what was the demeanor of the people that were inside of the car?
They were still hitting him.
Okay, And so was it like a high stress situation?
Yes,
Okay, and
And-
you described it as chaotic?
yes.
Okay, and so then what did you hear?
I heard that and it frightened me because when I looked closer, I noticed that the passenger in the front was wearing a white shirt, was holding a gun. And that's when we backed up a
Your
little bit.
Honor,
We took a
since we
couple of steps
sort of
back.
Progressed from that issue to what's been visually observed. I just renew my objection. If they're abandoning, trying to lay the foundation, I'd ask for an instruction since
All
part of
right,
the
then
answer was given.
That will be sustained. You're to disregard what was said.
Motion for mistrial.
Denied.
All right, and so you said, who were you able to get the best look at in that black motor vehicle?
The person in the front seat that was holding the gun,
Okay, and you said what color shirt was that person wearing?
he was wearing a white t-shirt.
Okay, and you had previously described this person as a Hispanic male, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay,
but again, the car was just moving. It was bouncing. So everybody just looked brown to me.
okay. And so when you describe the front passenger seat, I guess as far as the person that was in the front passenger seat skin tone, would you be able to describe their skin tone and their tone of hair?
Yes, they were, it seemed to be, if I said they were Hispanic, it was like they were darker, a little bit darker, and they had dark cropped hair.
Okay. And regarding that front passenger, were you able to tell anything about their size?
Yes. The way that they were sitting, it's like their head was not, it didn't go too far past the headrest
Okay.
and seemed to be very, very skinny, just very thin.
Oh.
Very, like a smaller stature. So,
All right. And you said that front passenger that was wearing the white shirt did have a handgun in his hand, is that correct?
he did.
And did you see him do anything with the handgun?
Yes, it was the way he was pointing it and he looked, he just looked nervous, but just kept going back and forth,
Okay.
holding it.
And so I guess you were using your right hand, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did that passenger have the firearm in their right hand?
Yes.
Okay. The person that was in the back, well, I guess, did you observe that front passenger doing anything in the back seat?
No, he stayed in the front seat the entire time.
Did you observe him turn around?
Yes,
or-
he was like turning around. It's almost like he was
Your Honor.
turning around to find the best
Excuse me.
position.
So whenever an attorney makes an objection, I just need you to stop speaking because I need to rule on their objection that they made, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
No problem. All right, ask your next question.
May I have a ruling, Your Honor?
The objection is overruled.
All right, so you stated the front passenger, he stayed in the front passenger seat, is that correct?
Mhm.
Physically, is that what you mean?
Okay. So when I say that he's staying in the front seat, it means that he didn't jump to the back. That's what I mean by that. But there was a lot of movement in the front seat when he
Okay.
was holding the gun. So
Okay.
it was like he was just trying to find a better way to do whatever it is that he intended in doing.
All right. Did you see the front passenger interact with that person that was being beat up in the back seat?
Yes, because he turned around to look at him.
Okay. Did he ever point the firearm at him?
I don't
Objection
recall
leading,
that
Your
part.
Overruled.
Honor. And withdraw.
You don't recall?
Pointing at him, no.
Okay,
He
What
just
hap-
had it up the entire time.
okay. What happened with the person that was in the back seat that was being beat up on?
Okay, so as I said, the car door kept opening and closing, opening, closing. At one point, he jumped out of the car and then I want to say he jumped back in and then he jumped out of the car again and jumped on the hood of the car and was holding on. And is at that point that the car took off.
Okay, did you see what direction the car took off in?
Well, they remained on the access road and you could hear them squeal off and it's like they went right into the next parking lot. Cause I could hear it. It's right here next. It was like next to us.
All right. And then, after you hear it screech off, did you hear anything else?
Yes, I heard 3 gunshots.
And then what did you do at that time?
I was calling 911.
All right. Your Honor, permission to publish, Exhibit 8, which was entered yesterday.
Yes, granted.
Police, please, and probably EMS, I don't know. Somebody just got, I think somebody just got shot. They're right here in the Best Buy parking lot on 410
We're at a 410.
and San Pedro, like McCullough, like right after the McCullough exit. We could see them fighting in the car. He kept telling somebody, help me, help me. And they had a gun on him and they were trying to get him out of the car. I don't know what was going on because I'm sitting in my car, kicking leave. But I think they shot him or they fired shots or something. And they're right there in the parking lot.
Did you hear shots?
What?
Did you hear any gunshots?
Yes. The guy in the front seat. It was a Ford, it was a black Ford.
Is it still there?
I don't know. I'm in one parking lot and they went into the other. Right after the McCullough exit where Doubletree is, it was like the parking lot next to that.
You said it was a Ford,
Yes.
blue?
I'm sorry?
What color was it, blue?
No, it was black.
Black?
Yeah. There's 2 male passengers in the front and there were like 2 or 3 male passengers in the back seat. It was a car full of guys.
Okay, and it said 410 where?
410 and right after the McCullough exit, it was directly across from North Star, right after the Doubletree Hotel by Hilton.
Okay, I'm trying to find it from where you're at. So was there 410 in McCullough?
Yes. In the Con parking lot, right there,
What was the name of the store that happened in front of?
What was the name of the what?
What was the name of the store that happened in front of?
Right here in front of the Doubletree by Hilton,
Okay.
right here at the intersection of McCullough and right here on the highway.
Did you hear this person yelling for help?
I'm sorry?
Did you hear the person yelling for help?
Yeah, I heard him yelling for help. It was very funny. I thought like they were kidding. And he was like, they were like, no, get the fuck out of the car, get the fuck out of the car. And he's like, no, 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 no. And then all of a sudden he's like, somebody help me, somebody help me. And then he's like, don't shoot him here. They said, don't shoot him in here. And then when I looked, I saw, because at first I thought they were joking, but then I looked and sure enough, the guy in the front seat had a gun and he was pointing it at the guy. And he's like, no, no, no. And then he jumped on the hood and he rode on the hood of the car all the way on the access road. And then they pulled into the Best Buy or Con parking lot, whatever, the next parking lot over. And then I heard the gunshot.
Yeah. Okay, I have it.
Okay.
It's just because it's been called in. You're
Okay.
calling it in now. Do you have any other information on it?
No, that's it. Just know that it was a little black four-door car and a bunch of car full of boys in there. And I don't know what the story
Do you
was,
want to
but
leave your name?
sure, Elizabeth Adams.
of your phone numbers at 83.
Presentation of the 911 call that you made on that day?
Mhm.
Sorry,
Yes.
yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you. And regarding the passenger that exited the back seat of that black vehicle and got on top of the hood of the car, did you, based on the observations that you made, did you perceive that he wanted to get out of the car, or what did you perceive was going on?
I got the impression that he just did not want to give his car up.
Okay.
Kind of seemed like, but he wanted to get out, but he wanted his
Your
car.
Honor, to speculation.
Sustained.
Ask the jury to disregard that answer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're to disregard the last answer.
Motion for mistrial.
Denied.
We passed the witness, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Just a few questions for you. You didn't actually see someone firing a gun, correct?
Nope.
Okay. And you said you were at the DoubleTree
Yes.
and you were standing out in front of the building, or are you in your vehicle?
On the side, there's a parking lot, and my car was parked there, and I
Okay.
was going to get in, but hadn't done that yet.
Okay, were you right beside your car or?
Yes.
All right. If you could give us a sense, how many feet from where you were standing to where you saw the vehicle?
Let's see. It's like from here, let's just say from here to way before that wall. So it was close, it was a lot closer, maybe behind you guys, the divider.
The bar that divides the gallery from the well, that would be
Maybe.
kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, maybe,
Okay.
yeah.
You indicated that on the call, we heard you say that all the people in the vehicle were Hispanic. Right? You heard that on the recording?
Yes,
So
that's,
when you were being questioned by the prosecutor about it, you also mentioned that you had indicated that you believe they were all Hispanic. You also said something like the car was moving and all I saw was that the car looked brown to me. Do you recall testifying to that a moment ago?
no, the car is black. I
I
said,
think what you probably meant was that the people in the car all look brown to you. Is that what you meant?
yes,
Okay. You seem to have some hesitancy when she asked the question. Have you met with the prosecutors in anticipation of your testimony in this case?
yes.
About how long ago?
I mean, just before trial.
Did they ask you if there were any African Americans in the car?
Yes, but I think that was like a while back, like, when all of this started to finally come to trial.
Okay, thank you. You indicated that the Hispanic person that you saw in the front seat of the car had cropped hair, short hair, right?
Mhm.
Okay. You indicated that that person did have a pistol, but you saw that the pistol's barrel was pointed at the ceiling of the vehicle at all times that you saw it, correct?
Yes,
Okay. Fair enough. You heard some things that people were saying, but you didn't hear everything that was being said inside of the car, right?
correct.
Windows of the car were all rolled up as far as you could tell.
Yes,
All right. And at one point you indicated that you weren't sure if they were kidding or if this was a fight until you watched it a little longer.
right.
Now, may I approach the reporter for a moment?
Yes.
Oh, it's right here.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, permission to publish States 3. I don't know if we can.
And no objection. I'm sorry.
you're-
It's
you're-
admitted.
Thank
It's
you.
already in evidence. And so just so the attorneys are aware, if something is already into evidence, there's no need to request the court whether or not you can publish it.
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize. Old habits die hard. so.
No problem.
Ma'am, I'm going to show you what's been admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 3. If I were to tell you that this building right here where my finger is pointed is the Chick-fil-A over in this general vicinity, can you give us a sense of where on the map the DoubleTree is?
I'm assuming this is the DoubleTree. Is that,
Let me approach you so I can see what you're pointing to, and then I can confirm with you.
if I'm, let me see. Well, wait, I guess this is the DoubleTree because that looks like the hotel.
Okay, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm correct. You're saying you think that this is the DoubleTree?
Mm-hmm.
This may be a different hotel. It was renamed. Okay, so this is the hotel you believe that you were out in front of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're talking about the altercation having taken place somewhere in where these cars are here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but did you actually see the car go into the Chick-fil-A parking lot?
No, because I want to say there was like a car or something here. I don't know. Something was here
Okay,
because I didn't, and we were scared. I stepped back and I just was focusing on grabbing my phone at that point when he took off on the hood, I believe is right when I was like, this is crazy. I've got to call this in. This is nuts.
okay, but you called in after you heard the gunshots.
Yes, I guess.
Okay, because you talk about gunfire in your 911 call, right?
Mhm. Well, you gotta wait. They don't answer right away. I was waiting for a second and, everything's transpiring as it's going.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just trying to get a sense of the timing. I'm just
Mhm.
understand. Could you give us a sense where your car was parked, if you could guess? I mean, I don't want you to guess, but approximately where in this parking lot would your car have been parked in relationship to the roadway?
I wanna say that, I don't know if you can hear me. Okay. So it was probably like around like right here because I was very much in line with about the third car like this. This is,
Okay.
yeah. And so
Okay.
And
I was
excuse
about right
me,
here.
if you need to step into the well, if it's easier for her to point off on the equipment there.
I was just
You
going
can
to
have
point
her,
forward.
no,
and see
I mean,
if
you can
she
have her
agreed.
step down. You can step down and use that screen because I don't believe the equipment is working on that screen for you to point and mark. So if you all would like, and if it would be easier for the jurors to see, if you want to step down and use that, you
Come on
can.
down. You could just please point to where you were pointing on your monitor.
So I was.
Oh, and I'm sorry, make sure you keep your voice up because the jurors still need to hear.
Okay, I was in one of these parking spaces here,
Okay.
right here, because I was like almost in line with this third, like the third car back. I remember that very vividly.
Okay. So to be clear, your car was not parked in those parking spaces that are directly facing the oncoming traffic. It would have been the next
Right
row
here.
of cars or maybe the row after that.
This one.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you, ma'am. I
Mhm.
appreciate it.
Go up back.
Yes.
Are you done with the camera?
Yes, I'm done with the camera. Thank you. And you testified that you saw a bunch of guys in the car.
Yes.
You didn't see any women in the car.
No.
I'll pass the witness.
No further questions and
Alright.
excused by state.
Excuse my defense.
All right, the rule has been invoked. That means that you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone while this trial is proceeding. All right, and just make sure you remove the microphone. I just, yes, thank you. And excuse me, this is an exhibit, if you'll give that to Cindy.